Hello and welcome to my show, Conversation with Priya. I'm your host, Priya Mishra. Today is my guest, Shilpa Kulshrestha. Shilpa Kulshrestha is the founder and principal coach of Scintillate. She is the best-selling author. Shilpa helps people who are stuck in the corporate world get clarity, courage, and certainty to fast-track their career. A game-changing career coach, Forbes Coaches Council Women Entrepreneurs of the Year 2021 and Indian Achiever Award 2021. One of her purpose and goal is impacting 1 million lives of murder Day. So help me to welcome today Shilpa Kulshrestha. Hi, Shilpa. Thank you for joining in and accepting my request. It's been an honor and pleasure to know you for a while, and it was good catching up you on another day. Thank you for joining in today.
It's my absolute pleasure, Priya. Thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. So the thing is that we want to bring your journey and your influence to the people. And I've been hearing a lot of history from you. So I thought, definitely this story has to go to the people and get benefit out of your story. So I really want you to come up tell us your journey. How did you start it? This journey as a life coach, as a career coach aspect?
Absolutely. So as you said, I'm a career coach. I help people change their game in life. Mm-hmm. And it was not always like this. Years back, 16 years of corporate life with some good names to my credit, I would say, some really wonderful people to work with. And I would say when I started my career, it was like amazing. I had this glitter in my eyes. I wanted to do something amazing with my life, with my career.
Sure.
And few years down the journey, 10, 11 years, I don't know what happened, Priya, but I started choosing things. I started choosing between my family and my career, which I'm sure a lot of women especially would be able to relate to it. I started choosing and I said, okay, my family is a priority. Let me do the bare minimum in my career.
Right.
I didn't consciously take this decision, but it happened over the years as the priorities of life started showing up. And in that track somewhere, I started feeding that monster of work-life balance. This was the big thing in the corporate workplaces, have the work-life balance. And I was like, it seems like a good thing to have.
Yeah.
For it. And I started feeding that monster. The more I fed it, the more it came near me.
Yeah.
Over the years, I fed it all my excellence. By the time I realized I had become a mediocre somewhere in that journey. I don't know when and where it happened, but it did happen.
Yes.
I realized it when my position became redundant in my company after a great career. And I would say great because there were promotions, there were outstanding ratings. But one day I realized that my position is gone. And that was like a big slap in my face. How could I give the control of my life to somebody to the extent that they say that, okay, don't come to office from it was not next day, it was after 5 months because I was leading a crucial initiative. But how could I give control to somebody else? And that was when I started my journey of, connecting with myself. Who am I actually? Yes, I am doing this corporate job. I'm a project manager. I'm in program management. But who really am I? What am I creating in life? Am I really happy with who I am?
Right.
I started that process. And over a few months, I learned from the best gurus in the world. And I would say that started my journey of when I saw myself transform, when I saw a stronger side of me, which I had not met for the past 5 years at least. I thought, if I can do it, then others can. And I started helping others. And thus started my journey as a coach.
Great. Because I know you... I have been noticing and I've been hearing from you and Kapil as well that, unless you've gone through that journey, sometimes realization phase come by others' help in that. Sometimes you have a potential and sometimes you are overwhelmed or sometimes you are too occupied with your current situation. And sometimes some people live within their own bubble, right? And some outsider will just come and say, okay, this needs to be changed here, right? And that one small thing changes your whole life, like that light bulb movement.
Absolutely. You can just see the trees in front of you and this is the tree in front. But somebody who's an outsider can see the entire forest and help you navigate. So I firmly believe that if it was up to me, I would probably not have been here, or it could have taken me 10 years if I was doing it myself. But just leveraging others who were more qualified than me, who were more experienced than me, it just helped me cut short my journey by 10 years at least.
Right. Yeah. So people say you can learn by either, mistake, or you can learn by someone else's experience. And, and that's why mentor and coaches has been there for millions and millions of there. In past old and ancient practices, people were calling them, priest or, saint, and, people used to follow guru system. There was always something there to mentor and give you the path and the journey you want to go towards it. Interesting story, and it's folding very well. What are your past experience that made you decide create a vision of yourself and towards other people?
Right. So I wouldn't say, like people say, you always knew you would be here. I said, no, actually, I had no idea of. In fact, when the day when I became redundant, I had this, I can't describe the feeling, but I had this, like something big is opening up for me. I didn't know what, but then I knew to get to there. And I often describe it that way, that when I walked out of 275 Kent Street, Westpac that day, out of those turnstiles, I felt elated. But by the time I reached home, my knees started feeling weak because I didn't know what to do. And that was the time when I said, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to be, but I just know one thing, how I've been living my life, that is not the way forward.
Right.
And what brought me here is not going to get me to a place where I would love to see myself. And I need to start my journey. And as I said, I spent time. I flew to different parts of the world, learning from the best coaches, best strategy gurus. I drained my money like anything, but I knew that unless I become the person who is capable of doing something much more concrete, it's not going to, keep me happy. And over those months, I realized I started seeing glimpses of myself, which were so powerful. And Priya, honestly, I had not met that side of Shilpa ever, even when I started my career. So
right.
It just, that realization that if somebody who was, I consider myself like maybe everybody else is better than me, but I was in such a bad state. When I saw that I could do it, I said that, 95% people around, they're living a life of mediocrity. And the worst part is they don't even know it. I didn't know. I didn't call myself a mediocre. I was in this illusion that I'm awesome. So if I can do it, maybe I can help others who are in that mediocre game, who are stuck in that, make them realize it. And if they are willing, help them step out of it into a life of excellence where they are creating something really extraordinary, something that they are proud of. And that's how, it started my mission.
And, many of us start with the very biggest spark, but then somehow in the middle of the journey, we lost it. And then we stuck into that churning loop, and very few people actually even commit what you did. And also very few people accept that they were actually stuck in that churning wheel. The acceptance is very important to actually go to the next level anyway. So you are really courageous and amazing story, and I have been hearing from you. You have helped a lot of people. What is the difference between your program from the other coaches? Like, there are a lot of career coaches, and I know everybody talks about value, right? You can't sell a service, you can only sell a value, right? So what's the value people should look into you?
That's an excellent question. So the programs that I run, they are based on getting yourself in complete alignment with yourself. A lot of us focus on the big things. Okay, this is not working, that is not working, maybe I should do that. We focus on the big things.
Yeah.
Oiling has to be done at the base, at the foundation level. As you said in the beginning, it's the right shift, the right 2 shift that has to be made at the roots. That's what the program focuses on. So if you see in terms of the results, right, people have been making successful career transitions, 100% more salaries, even with completely different areas of career transitions, getting somewhere between 40 to more than 100% salary increases, despite the COVID, despite the economy not doing well, getting promotions left, right, and center when we
Right.
see that companies are not doing well. They have beaten the status quo like anything because they've got it right at the roots. So my programs focus on the roots, and secondly, they focus on implementation. So beating that procrastination beast. Again, that is something some of us take a lot of pride in saying that I'm lazy. Yes, if you say yes, you will become more lazy. But beating that beast out, removing it, uprooting it from your system, and getting into a massive action mode, where you realize that it's not about doing something extraordinary. Extraordinary comes as a result of you doing ordinary things consistently.
Right.
So I think that's the difference of my program. And the second thing is me and Kapil, my partner Kapil, both of us personally spend time with the people, because we know that's what is going to get them there. So that's it.
I think personal touch is very much missing in many of the coaching programs. If you have noticed, that personal touch brings you, helps you to people to open up. Not many people are an extrovert, and if they are not extrovert, opening up is very important. Some people are like a open book kind of thing. They just open up straight away. But a lot of people don't want to open up in front of strangers and people who don't know very well. So personal touch becomes more crucial when you comes to this kind of a program, especially the kind of area you have chosen. Can you tell me, about a time when you push a client out of their comfort zone? Because that's the most crucial element. People have their own comfort zone. How you push them out of that?
So all the time, it happens all the time, Priya, because that's my job as a coach, to challenge them. And I always say, don't think I'm being rude, but it's my responsibility to help you challenge the way you have been living your life. So there have been people who have always stayed in a corner on their desk all their life. And these people, the people that I've dealt with, these are CXOs, CFOs, CPOs, CEOs, CTOs. These are the people who have worked for different countries, different companies, but they have always sat as a loner on the desk. There are people who have not invested in their relationship capital, which is the biggest currency we can have today. There are people who have concentrated only on their performance. There are people who have never played it out. Then I say, go out. There's mud there. Get yourself dirty. Not the dirty games, but actually make mistakes, because that's where you learn. So helping them push out of their comfort zone. And I have a lot of examples. Like I had a CFO who was really, really, really scared of putting himself out there. Like any place, he didn't like to be seen.
Yeah.
And it was a big task for us to get to the brand, to get branding for that person. And this is, like, as I said, it is a CFO, but, really scared because he was always in numbers and reporting, which didn't require him to be visible. But today you need to be out there. And it was a big fight that we had over his current mechanism, like where he wanted to stay in the comfort and not be seen, to pull him out of it gradually, hold his hand and help him create a global brand where he's doing wonders today.
Right.
So always there are these kind of examples where people get used to a certain way of life, and that keeps on going unless somebody steps in to identify the patterns that are not working well in their life. And this is basically what I do. I don't change the people. I don't change their personality. I break the patterns which are not serving them well, which are coming in the way of their progress. Some of the patterns might be they keep concentrating on their career. It's not doing that well, or it's doing well, but there's some bit of something is missing. And then they realize it is because of the relationship they have at home. There's a certain gap in that, or it is because their health is not able to keep pace with their career. So career is the front gate where people come in. But when you get it right at the roots, everything, the impact is shown everywhere in your life, and you become a magnet for more.
Yeah. And the majority of people, especially I have noticed, I'm from technology background, as you know, majority of people who comes from a very intellectual and technology background, they think that's where they are going to get the success, sitting behind the desk, right? That's their defining moment. That's where they get all the career definition. And that's where their success lies. but it's amazing to see that how you bring all that coherent and the synergy for other part of the life. It's not that behind the desk, it's not about your brain only. See, for many people, brain is a very ugly looking thing, but for the scientists, it's a most magnificent element of your body, the people who work in the neurology. So you need to identify that magnificent beauty of your different part of it. And I love the way you actually identify each and every element of your one individual's life. Interesting to see that. So far you have already helped 200 corporate professionals. You are stuck and unfulfilled. What are the challenges you are also faced in order for them to reach their goals for success in life?
So it depends upon what is your evaluation. The way I see it, there's always a step up. Wherever you are there in life, there's always a step up. So whether you have been significantly successful in life or whether you have been reasonably successful or things have not been working well, the stage where you are, you have complete power to transform it in a way you want.
Yeah.
The problem is, a lot of us keep thinking about it. We stay in that, and you deal with the people, Priya, and you have seen how COVID has shaped up the thinking of the people. There are two kinds of people. People who feel that now is not the time because, anyway, things are so wrong and, let me things get better. But there are people, as I said, they have got promotions, they've got raises. Like if I get to the figures, more than $180,000 US dollar raise in their salaries. These are the people who say, whatever is the time, now it's my time. I'm going to make it work. So if people feel that their job has become monotonous, it has become too simple, it is not giving them that much happiness that it used to give them at some point of time, or they've started thinking about, what's next, I think they should consider coaching. And I really want to make it clear, coaching is not counseling. It is not about solving problems. So the problems get resolved in the process, but it is for the high achievers who want to take it to the next level, who want to really create that life of magnificence. And I think those are the people who should consider for coaching, because a coach, I'm a coach, I have my coach and my coach has his coach. So knowing what a coach can do, I will never stay without a coach, and I will never encourage the people whom I coach. And most of my clients have stayed for 1.5, 2 years. They have stayed with me because they can see the changes it brings in your life. And it is not about me. It's about any coach that you identify with, that you feel you have a value alignment. Go for it.
Yeah.
Change your game.
And I think it's very important to have that alignment, that rapport development, and the comfort is very important with your coaches, how you can conveniently talk to anything and to any topic to your coach. It's very important, that openness, and the synergy, the harmony between two of them is very important to change what you want to change. Otherwise, it's nearly impossible. And I have noticed in the branding, there are a lot of people who come to me and they want to do the perception management, but they don't want to change their perception for themselves, And I always ask them question, how do you want to be perceived yourself, right? I ask them, when I ask them, send them my questionnaire to ask them, they say, oh my God, do I have to answer it, right? And when they answer it, I'm telling you, 2-3 times, they will send me that copy and I have to send them back, asking them, I want you to say what you think, not what my wife's told about me, what my boss told about me, my parents told about me, the society told it about me, my friends told about me. No, don't bring that, preconception. Think individually that, you as a Priya Mishra, how do you want to be perceived by people?
Absolutely. And it's so good that you mentioned it, Priya. You work for the marketing for the small medium firms, right? Businesses. And I work with individuals who are in the corporate. Most of the people don't get it. Branding is not about being somebody who they are not. It is about being completely authentic with who you are. If you have the courage, if you have the certainty to put yourself as you are in the market, that's where you win it. That's where you win it. The problem is, most of the people feel that there's something wrong with them, or the current state in which they are, they are not capable of it. If you can get the courage to put yourself out there authentically, that will get you so much wins so much in return that you can't even imagine today.
Yeah. And remember, when we were in corporate, we were always working towards the conflict management side of, and it's when people come to me, reputation management, and they ask like, oh this person sent me at this comment, and I'm saying, why you want to showcase only good part of yourself, right? Really, you will come with all shape and size, right? So why don't you go and manage that reputation rather than actually hiding that reputation? And I have noticed majority of media companies and coaches, and they encourage them to, if there is any ugly, clean it, no, manage it.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And think about it, Priya Mishra. If I want to deal with Priya Mishra, I want to know the human side of her, right? I do not want to deal with superhumans because I just cannot connect with them. So that part of you that you're not comfortable with, just put it out there. And I can bet that you'll get comfortable, start getting comfortable. And obviously you'll have to take steps to, take it to the next level. But if you can put yourself out there authentically, comfortable part, uncomfortable part, because all of us have got those shades. No one's a superhuman. And if there's a superhuman, I just don't believe that superhuman because I know it's impossible. So be human and put yourself out there as that.
Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of stories in, Greek culture, Indian culture, even when God came as a human, he had the mistakes, and he did have some weaknesses as well. And it has been projected in all our ethical books. If you look at moral books, you pick up, I call it all that religious story is more of a moral book, right? To implant that morality and ethic and EQ side of a human. People can see this in a different aspect, and I'm not against any religion or anything, but I'm just saying it's more of a moral story, right? And if you read that, there are mistakes also being discussed of any god and goddesses in every culture, So who are we? We are human. We do mistake, and the more mistake, see, if people say I succeeded without telling me what mistake they have done, I feel like there is something wrong, right?
I agree.
You can't get the success without doing more mistakes than actual highlight stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's very interesting angle people should, and what would you say about the weakness side? There are a lot of people don't want to talk about the weakness in the public.
So I would say, weaknesses is one thing. There are two kinds of people. They either they don't want to talk about the weakness at all, or some people just talk about what they suck at. Both sides are, wrong. I would say concentrate on your strengths, because your strengths are the silver sword.
Yeah.
It will help you navigate your way to the top. Don't spend so much time on the weaknesses. Yes, you'll have to manage them, but just don't keep thinking about it. At the same time, there are mistakes, and I would say it's not weaknesses. I don't like people to answer this. I don't like to answer this question in interviews as well. What are your weaknesses? Because that's not where I want to concentrate on. I want to concentrate on my strengths. But everybody makes mistakes. When I started as a coach, I made mistakes. I didn't know how to sell myself. I made a lot of mistakes in that. Did some things right, did some things wrong. Went to a level where all my money was, drained away, was left with $563 in the bank. And when you were talking about commitment, it's the commitment which kept me going. No, I'm not going to step back, right? So at that point, I was not actually ready to share about what was going on inside my house. This wall that you see here, this wall I built with my own hands, with me and my husband, so that we can give this room, which I'm sitting in, on rent, on Airbnb, so that we can get some money. Was not ready to speak about these kind of instances happening in our life at that point. But today I know it was not a weakness. Actually, there were some mistakes which we did. And these are some of the things which we did to, get out of those mistakes and come back in balance, So it is good to talk about the mistakes, because nobody has a mistake-proof life. It is okay to talk about what you're not comfortable with, because that's the form in which people like to see you, and that's the form in which people connect with you. People do not connect much with success. They connect more with what mistakes you did, or what is that area that you are not comfortable with. That creates an immediate connection with the people.
Yeah. And that actually puts the dot together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will be always wondering, what's the missing point? What is the blind spot? Right? Those journey and those ups and downs actually puts the dot together, and what is the story overall? What are my blind spots? That helps you to find out in that. So that brings to my last question. What would you like to give, like 1 cent advice, the people who wants to go into the career change right now, what they should look into?
Right. So I think before they get into what career they would want to get into, I think they should spend some time with themselves, aligning with themselves, discovering themselves. Because this time when they're going for a career change, it was a different time when they got out of campus, they got picked up by the companies. It was what came through. They picked, whatever life threw at them. This time when they are doing with their choice, they should spend some time, and really I would say a coach comes really handy here in helping them discover themselves. What is it that they want in life, and what are the patterns with which they have been living their life? What are their blockers? Is it fear? Is it lack of confidence? Is it anxiety? Is it them not being able to take the risk? Is that them being too happy in their world? Satisfaction versus contentment, is that coming in the way? So look at your blockers, remove the blockers first. Because until you have removed the blockers, you will not be in your power zone to think clearly about where do you want to go.
Right.
Remove the blockers. Once you have removed the challenges, once you have thrown all the stories out of your life, the stories, the facts that you have been conjuring up in your mind, then you can think clearly about where is it that I want to take my life.
Yeah.
Who is it that I would love to be? And then it is just a matter of forming that vision, taking the help of a coach if you want. I would say definitely go for it. As I said, it can cut short your journey by 10 times. A coach puts you in a speed lane. And why do all the hard work when somebody has already done it?
Right.
You will still make mistakes, but you'll at least not make the ones which he or she did, right? So get a coach and then start breaking it into actions, into milestones, and start working on them consistently.
And I mean, I don't know if you remember, Shilpa, I looked at, when I was going for my career change 7 years ago, I looked at my complete life, look back and I say, what do I like? What kind of a personality I am? And when I looked at my personality trait, I started looking at the very nitty gritty. I literally created my worksheet on it, and I've been, when you are in corporate, you go for the lot of psychometric tests and all those things. When you ladder up to the leadership, you go through the different psychometric tests and all. I literally collected all that information, put into the Excel sheet and find out my personality type. And I realized I am very much 50% person who would love to go outside, but at the same time, I enjoy me being an intellectual person as well. Right. And when I was and I looked at my career pathway, I started as a marketing person. I really loved it. But during that time, the life took me to more technical aspect of my life, and I become pure technical person behind the desk. Right. But I realized that I really loved it. My first year of my life, I think one of us was the best career of my time. And I'm like, okay, that's might be my interest. And I started exploring my personality trait, what is required for that particular kind of a career, right? And I analyzed myself very detailed level. I met with a couple of my friends who are into same career coach, and we haven't met back in those days. But yeah, that time I really gone into the nitty gritty of my trade, and I realized, okay, this is who I am. Right? It helps me to use my intellectual brain, using my statistics, my data, analyzing the data, analyzing human behavior. That is marketing. But at the same time, it also allows me to go public, speak and talk, and project myself as a face value, creating my own brand. And I'm both sides. So that's helped me to choose my career change. So I understand what you do and what you are saying. And it is very important to go that nitty gritty level.
And Priya, I would like to mention, look at you, how you're blossoming in this, what you are doing. I see you doing all those big events, in the city. I've been to some of the events pre-COVID, and the networking events, and how you're always out there because you're enjoying. You've thought about where is it that you want to take your life, how to bring your strengths forward, and you are enjoying it. You are making so much difference to your customers. So this is what happens when you are in touch with who you are and where do you want to be.
Yeah. So thank you so much for bringing that. And it's very, very big job. It's not one, you can't do it in overnight. So yes, you need help. Yes, I did get help, Shilpa and me was not in connect, but yes, we get to know each other. And when we discuss my career path, great advice I get. Thank you so much, Shilpa, for joining in today. It was a great pleasure to have you. And people will be reaching out to you, how they can reach you.
LinkedIn, my most authentic home. Just search for Shilpa Kulshrestha and you'll be able to, find me there. And I personally respond to the messages. So yeah, that's my most authentic home. And thank you, Priya. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. Thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you. And it's all your details will be given in the description. So people, you don't have to wonder. Please look at our description. And if you haven't subscribed, like, share, and comment yet, please do so that we can bring this kind of amazing story again. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done it. To know more about us, visit www.corporality.global. And also you can find more about Priya Mishra is on priya.sydney.